The biggest thing here with this movement is punching through. I want to get double unders on my opponent and go immediately. So if I want to just catch that movement with one big shot, make sure you get that double underhook on my opponent. So if I pull him in using my legs, using the arms, and I got a nice big pull, and I get my double unders on my opponent, this would be the perfect time. I get it nice and high. I like to clasp with my gable grip behind the back of his head for this movement. Not so low because it changes my fulcrum here. So behind his head is kind of like where I like to feel it. So when I push, his arms slide through. When I push him very hard down towards the ground there, that allows me to catch my opponent's elbows and shove him through to where I'm by his shoulders in that movement. His hands are already stuck here. I keep this grip. I only let go because I was talking to you guys and to give him room here, okay? But you keep this very tight. At that point, you move up just to the wrist and you start, you start extending your body and raising your hip at the same time as you're pulling this down and your opponent begins to tap. Very easy movement. We'll do it one more time. I'm here in this position. If you were no-gi, you elbow grip, boom, to pop him through and bring those hands in. But we got the gi going on here. So I'll pull him in, get my arms under, and then shove him through to grasp. Close, and then at this point here, I raise and my opponent taps. Very easy. Any questions with that one? No? 1, 2, 3. Let's make it happen. Very easy movement there, especially if you react to his struggle. I came in, whether you did one at a time, you got here, fought your way through, got those arms, and you're trying to move, he starts to struggle. Capture the elbows. Make sure you don't lose distance with those. Start crossing the arms with your body here for you to create the sweep, and then reclamp with your legs for you to be able to come up to the switch already. So you're heavy on your opponent the entire time. That way from here to the pass, everything's together. You may need to grab the knee or the close knee, but a lot of times it's just enough to be able to come down and finish that arm bar on your opponent. Any questions with finishing it that way?
When you do that Z, is all your weight on him or on that hand?
No, it's on him. All the weight is on him. My hand only goes forward because when it goes forward, it allows my left hip, like my right hand goes forward, it allows my left hip to come up so I can pass that foot over. If I don't do that, I can't really lift the hip just to be able to do that. Any other questions? No? 1, 2, 3, boom. So, a lot of things are going to happen here for this one, so definitely pay attention, guys. Even for this movement, for me it starts with the initial grip. So if he puts his hands on my thighs here, what I want to do is grab by his palm, because I want to peel that palm and turn it a little bit for me to pull up on my climb, on my arm drag, right? I want to grab him here nice and high, tuck his shoulder under my face, his hand here, I push inside my leg. So I have this grip. As I start to fall back, my right foot comes to this hip of my opponent. For me to fall back, reach for my opponent's underhook on this position, and then as I escape through, I escape right to the armbar from here. Right to the... There is a back take through the position. You probably have several choke variations that can happen through this position. But I also found going straight to this position from here has worked pretty successfully as well. So, boom, pull, got him here. As we're fighting, and I tuck his arm, I want to go here on my opponent. Okay? Very important for this position here to happen. because then when I pull, it's nice and easy for me to escape in my pull to already have in the position I want for where my leg passes over to where I can start beginning for an inverted triangle here, or just simply pass and go right back to what we're working, arm bars. Any questions from it? Absolutely. Sure. Thanks, bro. So, anyway, starting from the knee on belly position here, I drive my knee inside, nice and deep, 45-degree angle. I want to be shoving my butt into my opponent here so I can keep him pressed down. I have a lot of weight, and I can kind of flow really well here on my opponent. This allows me to sometimes get him to open up just by simply sticking my hand inside and getting this underhook for the far side armbar. But what happens here is a lot of times when you start threatening for this, he starts to give you the close side. But we miss the close side because a lot of people just grab from here and just jump back and then try to throw that leg over. The fulcrum is gone. The position is gone. The moment I'm here and this hand comes up, I'm going to shove my toes under his shoulder there. So it's the pull and going bam, forward on my opponent. To now my knee on belly is more like thigh on his chest. My toes are under his shoulder. This makes it to when I put my thigh against my knee here, he has a very hard time bringing his elbow down to the ground. He'll have to bring all the way up, which leads me to something else to bring that elbow down. He's going to be stuck here very easy, which allows me to then put my hand on the outside of his neck, pull this arm to step my foot over, not allowing my opponent to escape at all. Then that arm bar is already nice and straight. When I pull, my opponent taps. Very easy here, very tight, and it closes all that room. You could do this with the gi or no gi on. Doesn't really make a difference. As long as I got a good knee on belly on him. Oh, he opens up. He did this position here. When I move, it's boom. Toes under. Clamp. Grab that neck. Step over. Boom. And then finish. Nice and tight the entire time. Don't open room for your opponent. Any questions with the movement? 1, 2, 3, boom. Easy armbar here from the close side, having this turtle position where, I guess this is the wrestler's position, right? He's in turtle. I could be back here with my opponent, bam, or just trying to fight regular jiu-jitsu style. I'm here. Basic same idea though, is I get the close side wrist control of my opponent. I get that close side wrist control of my opponent here. I want to maintain heavy weight and presence on this part of his body for me to actually make him work. It's no longer going to be a hip presence, which is what I have right here, putting a lot of weight towards his hips. I want it to move towards his head and shoulder. So I'm here in this position on my opponent. When I begin to move, I'm bringing my elbow up vertical, and then I want to drop it over his shoulder there. Okay, that's important for you guys to be able to use that, of bringing your body in to drop that elbow over his shoulder to make his shoulder go down to the ground. Right, so tuck your elbow back in for me, please. Bam, he's there. Oh, I fought, I just got that. I'm going to take my step and move. When my right knee touches this shoulder here, I'm ready to armbar my opponent. Right when I got to this position is when I can release some pressure. My foot steps in. I'm fishing for that hand. My knees are already in place. Hand slides up, everything's tight. My opponent's tapped. Very easy movement. Very good control, but you want to maintain that pressure the entire time. Even though you can flow through the movement, don't release early, because if he spins out of it early, he's just going to spin straight in his arm and roll right out of the movement there. So I want to be here nice and tight. Oh, I fish. I found that control. I start coming through. The elbow comes up. Remember to come up and then smash his shoulder. So boom, smash this knee touch. Now I'm here. Knees nice and pinched. hand control, turn his thumb towards his feet. It will stop his roll. It'll stop the running man. He starts the running man, I turn his thumb towards his feet, it stops his running man, I can still finish that arm bar. Any questions? 1, 2, 3. Let's make it work.